Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to probably our 11th or 12th BeYourOwnIT.com free support video, where we bring you, of course, videos, articles, product reviews, and much more updated weekly and also free by request at BeYourOwnIT.com. Today's screen capture is going to be basically a part two. The first part was locating your motherboard's model number. You do this to find out what your maximum capacities are, really with just two major items, the RAM and the processor. And you'd be looking at these sort of things if you're wondering about upgrading. So in part one I showed you where to find it. So it's usually located on the motherboard if you haven't found it. It's usually some combination of letters and numbers, and it's generally larger than the rest of the combinations out there. I'm going to start where most people would. Just typing the model number into Google. That's what I pulled off my board, K7VTA3. This is just an old garbage board down in the basement. Search it. Now what you want to do is look for kind of like the major manufacturer. Now this is an ECS motherboard. If you type yours in and you can't really determine who makes it, look around through a couple of these other ones. Usually be able to figure out. Here it tells you again ECS. But then you'll want to look for the manufacturer's website. That's where you can have the information. Luckily what looks like here is it's actually found the actual motherboard now, or a link to the actual product information for this motherboard. If you're not so lucky, you may need to browse through their search and look for your exact model. Now you'll scroll down and see there's a lot of downloads available. BIOS upgrades. BIOS upgrades are something that I may do a video on later, but you really want to be careful with it. If you screw it up, you can basically dump your whole computer. But as you can see, by upgrading the BIOS, say this BIOS one, now it supports two new CPUs, the faster processors, XP2400 and 2600. Granted, these are a little bit older, but by upgrading the BIOS, it can fix a lot of issues. But what we're more interested in finding out, how much RAM I can have, what are the capabilities. Typically, they'll be in their specs or maybe here manual. I'm not sure. I'm just shooting from the hip on this, just like you guys would be, because I don't want to, because I know every case will be different. Here's manual. Maybe this is it. Let's look at the manual. Sometimes it'll be right on the web page. Okay, here it looks like a manual, like a PDF file. So we'll open that. While that's loading, a lot of times you want to just, find this. You may want to just look for the specs. It may not give you. Here's a technical, manual. Oh, this is just the addendum. Sorry about that. But let's go back and try, let's see, English manual. I opened the wrong one there. Sorry about that, guys. This is part of not being prepared, but, I didn't want to make it seem too scripted, because you certainly would, unless you have this exact motherboard, you're probably not going to have the exact same results. If I was able to find maybe related links, CPU support, they're all going to be on the manufacturer's webpage, really. It may be buried. Some people make it easier. Here, this is exactly what we want. This will tell us. This will list all the processors that it will support based on this BIOS version. So as you can see, it lists all the processors that we can have in there, which is quite a few. It didn't show us the RAM, but you'd look at something like this if you know, you're wondering about upgrading your motherboard, because you know, you'd want to make sure that it supported whatever the heck that you were going to fork out the cash for. Seems like a pretty good list. So, you know, when you look for the manufacturer's page, you know, let's just bring up another one real quick. Intel, another super popular motherboard. Let's just go here. Let's look for support. Let's browse by product, and let's go to desktop boards. Now you can go through here. You can choose which processor. Maybe mine's older. I go to the archived one, and here are all the numbers I was talking about. AL440, you know, 815. This is a super popular chipset. We can take a look at like an 815 or 845. This is another really popular one. And right here, look, supported processors. This tells you, boom. Tells you all the Pentium 4s it supports and the Celerons, real easy. And it also tells you, of course, which board it applies to. So all this stuff is available from the manufacturer's webpage. Now you'll want to always do your research before you buy anything. Now here, look, here's tested memory list. You know, it'll show you what memory it supports. You know, and it says here's the capacity. It's designed to support DIMMs, and with a capacity up to 2 gigs. There you go. So if you already have a gig in there, well, now you know I can go up to 2 gigs. The manufacturers will hold this information for you, and it's real easy. Intel's a big board maker. ASUS, another one. You know, exactly the same thing. You'll go through there, and you know, you'll find your board, find your specs. It's real easy. If you guys have any trouble at all finding it, please, you know, email me, and I'll gladly do the research for you, no problem. I'll open it up, I'll look for you and then send you a link on capacities. If you have any questions again on this video, I know it was kind of rushed, email me at support@beyourownit.com. I'll answer your questions for free, and if you need me to do follow-up video, I will as well. Remember, do your research before you buy parts. You'll save all those stupid restocking fees. All right, have a great weekend. I guess it's Friday here, day after Valentine's, and we'll be making some more videos this weekend.